Hello friends, my name is RagePanda1, and I want to talk to you about the new update that we've just gotten on November 4th. There's a couple of things that have been added into the game, and I want to put a little disclaimer on this video. There's going to be some constructive criticism towards the end, and I'm hoping I can phrase it in a way that's positive. Maybe I won't be able to, I don't know. So we've got our Guardian Stone here, which is another method that we can use to increase the power on our dude. This is brand new, okay? Less than a day. So any tips I'm giving you here, it's just from me reading it and making my best guesses about the situation. The first point that you put into any of these is going to cost you 50 of your smallest resource, which is the green one. And you're gonna get these resources from a few different methods: charm, intimacy, getting champions that are rare or higher, and ascending to get higher star levels on these champions. Those are all ways that you're going to be able to get more of these medals, and they should be retroactive. So if you've paid a bunch of money and done a bunch of stuff, you should have way more of these medals than your peers. You can see that I already have 1 point into every single thing, and the reason for that is because the first point is so cheap for the amount that you're getting. It increases real fast. The second point, I believe, is 150, and then the third point is 300. Fun story, the reason that I have 2 points into this one is because the game glitched, and I clicked a different one, and it put the point in that one. So that's good. I would assume that everybody's going to do the same thing that I'm doing, which is you're going to take your mage power, which is the middle row, the second one, and you're going to bump that stuff through the roof. I think that's going to be super good. I wish that I could test how much the hit rate bonus is going to make a difference, because in most games, hit rating is extremely important, and you definitely want to be using it. So I think it's going to be the second best stat to put on DPS, but since I don't have a way to test how that works, who knows? If you're running a team with 2 Devala champions, putting your Constitution in your assassins is going to be a big deal because their clan trait is based on that. They both have heals in their kit that are based on their max health, so increasing their max health is going to increase their heal, and you're doubling down on the effect that you're getting from putting these points in. That being said, increasing your health for everybody is good because Energetic is being cemented as one of the best traits in the game alongside Brutal, and with this system we're increasing those stats farther, so Energetic and Brutal are going to be giving us even more of our Constitution and even more of our Strength. And they're only going to do that if we're leveling up the Constitution bonus and the Strength bonus. I don't think it's any surprise that those two are the top 2 on the list. If your team is based on frontliners that are, for instance, Lionstones, then you're going to want to make sure that you're getting some defensive stuff on your tank tree. I think it's a good idea to do that. The first one that I would focus on is the Constitution, and the reason is because Energetic is such a good trait. The main problem that you need to know about is that there is not currently a way for you to reset these points. And so that is going to discourage experimentation a little bit, and you want to be sure on what you're using. That means that probably investing in mages is just going to be better because there's more options for mages of things that are usable and good, and you're less likely to regret your points. That's just my 2 cents on it. Again, I've had less than 24 hours to look at this stuff. I'm not an expert at this point. I'm just telling you what I think is true. And then, of course, we have some new champions coming in real soon. And our male here has a totem that he dropped, and it does damage every second for 5 seconds. So that'll be 5 ticks. And it's going to stun the target for half a second every time it hits. Now, let me tell you something. That's way more overpowered than you probably think it is. And the reason is because if he's dropping that at his normal time that he would be dropping his active skill, then by the time that 5 seconds is up, it's likely that the enemy is trying to do ultimates. And since this is pulsing multiple times, you're getting multiple chances to stun people out of their ultimate. If you watch your cast bar when you are doing your ultimate and you get stunned, you're going to notice that your energy bar goes to 0 and you didn't get an ult. So you can straight up cancel entire energy bars, and he actually has a good chance to do it with an AoE totem. I don't know what the range of it is going to be, right? We haven't had the ability to test that, but it does really quite good damage. Stunning is good in the first place, and the timing of the stunning I think is super good. Now, we're not going to get too much into the quality control of how this is written, but when you're present, the gain effect of all enemy attacks is reduced by 40%. I assume that means the energy gain. Filling up their ultimate charge based on the attacks that they do is going to be reduced by 40%. That's how I read it. Unfortunately, that's actually not good with his active skill. His active skill wants to happen, and then within 5 seconds, you want them to be casting an ult and getting hit by the stun. This reduces the chances that that's going to happen. You're still going to catch people with it, and that's good. Maybe it's better to lean in the other way and go for more energy reduction on the enemy so that you're catching them in their ults when you're doing your second totem. That remains to be seen. Testing will have to be done. And then with his ultimate, this is going to be one of the things we're talking about in the negatives, but this is the Kmart version of the female Lionstone. You're getting a 200% boost and 20% attack speed for 5 seconds. Now, look, the attack speed for 5 seconds, who cares? It's not really that good. You're going to get 1 or 2 extra basic attacks, and that's it. It doesn't matter that much. Having the 200% bonus is a big deal because this doesn't say anything about not stacking with female Lionstone. And so if you're stacking her 400%, these things are usually not additive. Usually they're multiplicative, which means her 400% boost is becoming an 800% boost because they'll multiply together. But even if that's not true and it just is a cumulative 600% boost, well, I'll get into my negatives in a second. For the female, we'll talk about the passive first. Every normal attack gains a layer of bestial blood and stacks up to, at most, 20 layers. Of course, that means that Agile is something you want to have on this chick. That's basically essential on her to increase the odds that you're going to be getting all of those stacks for your ultimate. Her active skill, it changes based on the amount of health that you have. If you're over 50%, then you're going to increase your team's attack power by 80% for 5 seconds. Now, for just an active skill, that's pretty good. And if your health is below 50%, you're going to reduce enemy attack by 80%, which is kinda nutty. I don't think that she's like mandatory or overpowered. I think she's gonna be good and usable, but not great. Because the only other thing that she does is a heal that is based on your attack. So this lasts for 3 seconds, and every second you get a tick that's gonna do at least 90% of your attack, healing to all your teammates. And then your bestial blood stacks are going to increase this effect by an additional 5%. Again, it's not super clear what they mean by this. Am I going up to doing 95%? Or am I getting 5% of the 90% as a bonus? It's a slight difference. It's not that big of a deal, but it is a difference. And so just knowing how that's going to work, it adds up if you have 20 stack to being quite a bit of a difference. So she seems like she's going to be good in sustain comps, but I'm not sure if she's going to be better than Male Lume. It's hard to tell. And building up these stacks just to increase her heal, she doesn't do any damage. Like, she could have literally just had a lower percentage on this skill and had her base attack be considerably higher, like 200k higher, and she still would not do any damage with her basic attacks. She's good for sustain comps. You're going to get the extra damage bonus, and that's going to make up a little bit for her not doing damage. I get that. You really can only afford in this game to be using up to 2 people that aren't really doing that much damage. Usually that's going to be a frontliner or 2, and if you're using a person like this, then you're putting yourself in a rough spot. I think most people are going to want to take the male. And this is the point where I'm going to come out with a stream of negativity, and a lot of people are going to disagree with me, and a lot of people are going to agree with me. I just want you to know that when I'm giving you this little description of how I'm seeing this event, that I love the game. I love that it's getting new content all the time, and I think that it's okay for the developers not to be perfect, as long as they're still trying to tackle all of the bugs and fixes as fast as they can. They're putting in the effort, so I'm not even going to talk about all the bugs that are in the game right now. For all we know, they'll be gone in a week. There's no point having it in the video. However, 1 week ago, we just got a new clan. And now, that clan was basically wildly overpowered, and everybody spent all of their stones. I don't know a single person who looked at the last clan and said, I'm not going to get any of that, who cares? And now, a week later, we're going to be worried about trying to get 300 stones for this new clan. And this new clan has this guy who stacks with Lionstone, which further cements this, I take female Lionstone and burst mages and do big damage and lol, that's my whole meta. And that's all anybody wants to run, that's all anybody wants to talk about. And now it seems like a cash grab to me that they would add something like this that stacks with the Lion Stone, and they know that you're empty on stones and you didn't have time to replenish them. I don't like that, okay? I'm not saying it is a cash grab. Maybe they rushed out the vampires for the Halloween event and they just thought it would be cool with Halloween and this was already planned for this time. I don't know. I'm not accusing them of anything. I'm saying that's how it comes off to us who are the players. At the same time, we're getting yet another greenskin clan. Now, look, if I make a hybrid and it's going to be green skin and white eyes and that's all I get, then this is boring as sin. You know, if I get one of these goat horn helmets on my person, then that's probably going to be more cool, and then I don't care that the hybrid is just another green skin. But if it's just an orc, like the ones that we already have in multiple clans, then that's boring and they should be doing better because there's so many other options that they could be doing. On the same vein of having things be the same, we're looking at mages here. That's the last thing we need in this game is mages. 90% of the people that are good in the game are mages. There's so many good ones you can't even afford to have them on your team, much less ascend them, and most people are already running 3 mages in their team. The last thing we needed was mages. These could have easily been warriors. They don't do that much damage in the first place. They could have easily been used as a frontliner, and then that would have been cool. The reason they probably didn't do that is because they're already copying the female Lionstone, which is the frontliner with the ability. They probably made it mages, so you feel like you have to remove a mage from your team to fit this guy on there. Maybe. I don't know. Either way, we didn't need mages. We didn't need another orc. Yes, they look cool. Yes, they look like they're going to be fun to use. And also the timing was terrible. The thing that I like the least about this clan is that this ultimate is just making people go further into trying nothing new and just saying burst mages, LOLOL. And I'm so bored of that. Yeah, I get it. You're at the level 550 and you're huge and burst mages are really strong and that's all you want to tell anybody to use. I'm so bored of it. I want to be creative. I want us all to be creative and I want us to be experimenting. That doesn't mean that people are wrong about burst mages being good. It just means that I think it's boring. In terms of experimentation and wanting that to go farther, this system of the Guardian Stone thoroughly discourages experimentation because I can't reset this. Now, obviously, I had to level up the strength of my mages because I have a brain in my head and I can see that most of the people that are good are mages. So if I want to get my bang for my buck, I'm going to level up the mages. But now all of those points are in the one basket. And what am I going to do? Am I now going to level up the strength on another one of these? Or am I going to continue to make my mages stronger in the different fields that they belong in? So this is just another path for them to steer us down an alleyway of taking 3 burst mages and then doing big damage, and then that's it. That's all anybody does. I think that's boring, and I think it's bad for the game. And also, I think that this is coming out less than a month since Vigor, when we don't need more stat boosts. I make videos for people that are beginner tips. I take questions from people on a daily basis on Discord, helping them figure the game out and work through all of the different complications that exist in the game. The last thing that we needed was another system that is unforgiving, that you can screw up, and that new players need to learn, especially when we haven't even seen the effects of how high Vigor is going to take everybody's power. There are some people that already have Vigor levels in the 60s, and they're telling you how great it is. Well, they're probably not wrong. I think that the Vigor system adds a lot of power, and it also dictates that we want to be using energetic and brutal because you're increasing those base stats. So having a trait that also increases those extra base stats is good. Well, guess what? Now we have a third layer of it that also increases those stats. And yet again, we're being driven down a single lane where we're not supposed to experiment or do anything fun. We're supposed to get our vigor, get the strength and constitution leveled up on here, put energetic and brutal on all of our guys, and then just be happy that our stats are super high. And now we're left with two other traits that we can put onto people. The experimentation is just non-existent, really. And some of these other traits are so unusable, like Bestial, it doesn't even do anything. So, I don't know. And then, so I think the timing was bad. I think it's steering us in a boring direction. And I think it's annoying for new players to have yet another system that they can screw up and they have to learn. So I don't like anything about that. I'm not happy about the new clan. Yes, there's a lot of bugs that came with this update, and it's all just too soon. I know that I tend to, when I'm speaking passionately about stuff, I tend to sound angry. I'm not angry. I'm just trying to express my opinion on it and give you my experience and my thoughts on why I think the thing that I think. So don't think that I'm angry at the developers. I'm not. I just think that this update sucks, and I'm just telling you why. I still love the game. I'm still going to be making content daily. Don't think that I'm raging over here, even though my name is Rage Panda. It's fine. I'm just passionately expressing my opinions. But I will say that the changes that they're making to marriage are good changes, and I think that the Guild Valley of Conquerors could be good, although it wasn't the right time for them to start introducing that sort of stuff when we already have bugs that we're not getting rid of in Valley of Conquerors. So in the off chance that the developers catch this video, I support you, love your game, and also please pay more attention to timing and please promote experimentation more in your game. One of the things I loved the most about the game was that I could reset my characters and refund all of my stuff and just keep trying new things. I was okay with the fact that I can't do that with Ascension materials, but all of my gold and books and stuff I can get back. I don't want to see more systems that doesn't let that happen, and that keeps the community in a stale space where people are bored. I hope that you enjoyed my opinions here, even though I'm sure a lot of you don't agree with them. You know, don't at me, bro. I'm just sharing my feelings. Yeah, so thanks for watching. I have been Rage Panda 1, and I will see you in the next one.